We also run Project Youth Volunteer, a unique initiative that gives students first-hand exposure to the realities of marginalized communities by working directly with underserved populations. Young minds develop empathy, social awareness, and a deeper understanding of challenges faced by those who are on the other side of the spectrum. But none of this would have been possible without any of you all. You can support us by becoming a member of our donor family, ensure we continue to provide food, healthcare, and education to those who need it the most, or you can also join us on our volunteering programs, working hands-on with our initiatives through our partners, Cornash, the Lifestyle Management School, and EaR. Every effort counts. Visit our social media pages, follow us, and let's spread good work ahead. Thank you so much.
Now, I want to call Mrs. Devlina Ghosh, the founder of Cornash, to come and say a few words, please. Let's put our hands together for her.
Hello everyone. Okay, let me officially introduce myself now. I'm feeling a little more composed. I'm Devlina Ghosh, a clinical psychologist and a relationship coach. I specialize in helping women overcome issues like narcissistic abuse and recover from approval addiction or codependency. I'm also, by now you've heard, the founder of Cornash Lifestyle Management School and the co-founder of Nognat Foundation. Okay. Through my work, I have met countless women who are urban, who come from urban backgrounds, educated, homemakers, working in different fields, but they have a mission. They all want to do something in the mental wellness sphere. And when we started working together, when we usually go on this journey together, I realized that there is one particular struggle which they all face. And what's that struggle? That's silent doubt that in order to be nice, you have to sacrifice your entire self. And that's least true. We all know it. But all these women whom I met had this common thing about them. But what I also saw was some amazing transformations that took place once they came to their powers. What lit the fire of motivation in me 22 years back was to change this belief. Today, we will be hearing some amazing speakers. They are therapists, healers, coaches, mental health advocates, educators, authors. And what brings us together is this common mission that we want to urge people to go on an emotional wellness, mental health journey. It is a basic necessity for all of us, not a luxury anymore. Now with this, I will not waste any more time because I'm sure all of you are eagerly waiting for the speakers to come in. But before I leave the podium, I want to make one of the most important announcements of the day. That is the launch of the EaR Learning Management System. We realize that it's not nice to restrict ourselves to geographical location in this day and age. So now it's available to all of you at the click of a button. To describe this course in details, I would like to call upon Ms. Anmol Sehgal Karnani and Ms. Harshita Sharma. Thank you.
Big news! Have you ever wondered how much you actually know about your emotions? Most of the time, we only realize what we're feeling through how we react to situations or when someone else points it out. But what if you had a way to measure it for yourself? To actually see where you stand emotionally and how to work towards your well being.
Think about it. When you see someone looking down, you never really know how deep their sadness runs. It could be something a small win could fix, or it could be so overwhelming that even the simplest tasks seem difficult to do. But here's the thing, just like a blood test shows you your deficiencies in your body and the parasites that are present, wouldn't you want to know where your emotional wellness stands? And then, wouldn't you want to take the right steps to strengthen it?
Here's your chance. Scan this QR code and find your emotional wellness score right now.
Everyone, please take out your phones and scan this code, and you'll be able to find your emotional wellness score right away. And once you do, you can take a photo of what the results represent. See, wasn't that easy?
This model isn't just another theory. It's the result of 15 years of dedication built under the guidance of Dr. Philippe Frenny, professor at Harvard Medical School. It has been tested globally, including in leading universities across Punjab, Rajasthan, Bengal, and even beyond. And guess what? It has even been recognized at the World Economic Forum 2024 as an equitable, sustainable, and cost-effective approach to emotional well-being.
And today, we are beyond excited to launch the EaR Foundation Coaching Program. This is your chance to truly take charge of your emotions. If you're looking to build emotional resilience for yourself, this course is for you. And if you want to go further and become an EaR coach, helping others to in their journey on emotional wellness, this course is for you too.
And the best part, you can choose how you want to learn. One-on-one coaching with Dr. Pragati Sureka, group sessions, or now instantly at the click of a button through our brand new EaR learning management system.
So why wait? Take your first step towards self-awareness today. Visit www.emotionalabilityresources.com and unlock your emotional potential today. Your emotions are your greatest assets. It's time to harness their power.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for the launch of the LMS course. And now, may I call on Ms. Devlina Ghosh to talk about emotional ability resources.
Thank you, Pragati. So here, so we have the course with you. In case anybody wants to get in touch with Pragati, the details is there as well. We have an entire team who's going places. The EaR program has been conducted at universities in Punjab, Rajasthan, and some institutions in Bengal as well. So, we all the best, Pragati. Let's hope EaR goes global soon.
Thank you, Ms. Dina. Thank you very much.
And with this, Pragati, let's call on the speakers.
Absolutely. So now I call upon the first speaker, Aditi Kohli. Let's put our hands together for her. A certified breakthrough NLP and limitless living coach, a holistic healer, access bar facilitator, and the founder of Tree of Life, a feminine mystery packed as a woman of many facets. So without much ado, let's put our hands together for Aditi Kohli.
Thank you, Pragati. Thank you, Delvina. And it's great to be back at Kalakunj. We've done so many full moon sessions here. Have you been a part of that? Anybody? Yes. Lovely. And welcome to all. I'm the first speaker. I want to share a secret with you before I start. Are you ready for that? Okay. This is something which all of us are going through because we are going to share a very private part of our life with you. We are going to share stories, we are going to share very deep secrets which we've not really told others. So can we request everyone to have a safe space for us to make us feel that, it's okay to share our heart out with you? Is it okay? Can I see your hands? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me tell you my story, and I call it Shift. So you see a picture, I've got certain pictures up which are my personal pictures. I don't really share them on social media so much. A 4-year-old little girl put on her prettiest floral dress and skipped into the nursing home, so excited to meet her mother and her newborn sister with stars in her eyes. Yes, that's me, and that's my newborn sister Amrita. She's my heart. As I held my baby sister for the first time, my heart burst with joy, with love, and simultaneously, I heard the relatives fawning over her fair skin. Oh, she's so beautiful. They asked my mother, what did you eat in your pregnancy that you gave birth to such a beautiful child, a fair child with golden hair and brown eyes? And they were fawning over her. And then what they did was, they just turned to the 4-year-old me and they said with a hesitant smile, oh, she's the elder sister. They look so different. That was my first shift. I felt what it was like to be judged for my looks. That changed my entire world. I went home, I saw myself in the mirror. I was very confused, which I've never been before. If fair skin is beautiful, then was I ugly with my wheatish skin? I became so conscious of the way I looked that I began to hide. I didn't want to be seen or heard in groups. I started shying away from people. I didn't want to be photographed. I always felt unhappy within. And in school, I always avoided raising my hands. I didn't. And as the years passed on, the weight of my body, along with my dark thoughts, grew heavier and stunted with each life experience. In my head, I was short, I was dark, and I was fat. And that means I did not deserve anything good. The trips to the designers, the tailors, they were very traumatic for me. They would always look at me and say, oh, with her skin color, body shape, and height, there's nothing much we can do to make her look good. I never felt pretty. Even when the love of my life, now my husband of 29 years, you can see my wedding picture there, he complimented me, you're looking so pretty. In my heart, I never really felt it was true. I always felt ugly and unworthy, even as a bride on my most special day. Surprisingly, after my marriage or during my marriage time, I had a twist in my tale. I found myself enrolled in the first batch of NIFT, National Institute of Fashion Technology at Kolkata. It was a career which was ironically all about making people look good and feel their best. And under my label Aditi Kohli, I chose to design customized Western wear. In those days, customized Western wear wasn't easy to find. And they were meant for women who did not fit the narrow standards of ready-made wear. So women of all shapes, sizes and color found their way to me. And instead of selling garments, I unknowingly found myself, shifting mindsets and imparting self-confidence. And after 15 years of fashion, after 15 years in this, my life shifted again. Yet another unexpected turn. I stepped into the unseen world of energy. In my first pranic healing class, I was amazed to know we learned scanning, and I understood the importance of energy centers called chakras, which defined a person. You know, the how much strength that person has, how much happiness that person has. And rather than the physical appearance, they were always talking about chakras. And the best part was when I went to Mulshi, in the ashram, and I just felt I found like heaven, utopia. Why? Because everyone there was, greeting each other by saying Atma Namaste, which meant saluting the divinity within you and which is equal for all, not dependent on the outer form. So I devoted my next 20 years of life to selfless service. I became a senior instructor teaching 5 levels of pranic healing. I started spreading the teachings of chakras, of soul across India and beyond to countries like Singapore, Israel, Vietnam. My work took roots in 7 villages at Sundarbans, where we sought to create lasting impact by helping them embrace the treasures that all of us possess within, rather than wallow in the lack of being lesser privileged on the outside. By this time, I had started receiving so much love from tens and thousands of people who looked up to me. And yet, within me, there remained a constant, silent, deep void and emptiness. I remember one incident that took place right here. We were upstairs in Kala Mandir, and the whole hall was packed. There was a Vesak meditation, and Acharya Daphne had come for that meditation. And before the meditation would start, she wanted to guide us through a little inner thing. And she said, close your eyes and, just look at your face in the mirror and bless yourself. And I was shocked because I couldn't see myself. I didn't know what I looked like. And my heart melted and I started crying. And the next big shift, I'll just wrap it up quickly, was when my parents passed away. I was 48 years old. The unconditional love was like a cast to me, my fractured self-esteem. And that was the time I said, enough is enough, I have to change something. And I started with Cornash. Cornash changed the way I looked at myself. I went on to breakthrough NLP, EFT tapping, access consciousness, energy flow techniques. I just started seeking out ways of handling my emotions, my mind, my body, and getting more connected with myself. And now I have a daily care regime, and I'm taking care of myself, and I provide these services at Tree of Life. Thank you so much for your patience to listen to me, and wishing you all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was just wonderful. And Aditi, it was really, really very inspiring. Now I call upon the next speaker, Harshita Sharma, the littlest bird of our summit, young but passionate, with a powerful message for one and all. When you sit up and listen to her keenly, you will identify a Harshita in yourself as you were growing. I know I did. She's pursuing a master's in psychology and working as a research assistant with EaR and Lognight Foundation. So let's welcome her with a big applause.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harshita, and I'm currently a research assistant at EaR. So the world was not designed with people like me in mind. It was built for men, the extroverted, the right-handed, and for people who seem effortlessly comfortable in their own skin. I am none of these things, and navigating this world can sometimes feel like running uphill but backwards. The very things that make me me overshadow everything that I do. My biology, right from the start, dealt me a different hand, quite literally. I'm left-handed. Most of my childhood memories involve teachers, relatives, or anyone who thought they knew better, trying to correct me, trying to mold my grip onto the world into something that was more palatable for them. They didn't understand that my left hand was stained by some unspoken taboo, that it's as clean as anyone's right, it's as capable as anyone's right. And how could I explain to them that it's not even the hand I used to clean myself with, like they do? As if they forgot that the world does not include people who simply aren't like them. This left hand, it reaches, creates, and expresses. It's just a part of me, one they seem unwilling to accept. Then there's the assumption that life flows better for the extroverted, that society pulses to their rhythm. But I am an introvert, and it feels like no one quite believes that it's a preference and not a defect. I am neither antisocial nor asocial. I am selectively social. Crowds exhaust me. I am drained by the company of too many. But with a few, those I truly connect with, I feel alive. But for the rest of the world, this quietness is a misstep, a flaw that needs mending. Then comes the self-love, the demand that I learn to love myself in a world that does not quite love people like me. Everywhere I look, there's this mantra, be kinder to yourself, embrace who you are. It's everywhere. On social media, in well-meaning conversations, on posters in bedrooms. And yet, what if I don't want to be friends with myself? What if I'm just comfortable or maybe even resigned to a steady ambivalence towards who I am? Why isn't that enough? In a world that pushes you to be other than who you are, all I want is the freedom to be allowed my own quiet space, my left-handed quirks and all, without needing to explain or apologize for it. But here's the thing. I have no interest in fighting to fit into a world that was never built with me in mind. I don't want to constantly explain my existence or justify my choices just to make others comfortable. I don't want to force my way into conversations that don't have a space for a quiet voice like mine. Instead, I have learned to carve out my own space. I have learned that my left-handedness is not an error to be corrected, but instead it's a silent rebellion against a world that assumed it knew better. That my introversion is not a flaw, but a filter that allows me to build deep, meaningful connections with others instead of spreading my self-think for constant engagement. That self-acceptance does not have to be loud or celebratory. Sometimes it's simply existing in a way that feels honest. I used to think that strength meant being able to withstand the expectations of the world, but now I've come to realize that real strength lies in the refusal to shrink yourself into the expectations or into someone else's version of normal. It is in the quiet insistence that you deserve space exactly as you are. So to those who have ever been made to feel like they need to apologize for who they are, whether it's the hand they write with or the way they move through social spaces, or the complicated relationship that they have with self-acceptance, I say this: you do not owe an explanation for being yourself. You do not have to love yourself in a way that looks picture perfect. You just have to be. And that in itself is enough. Thank you.
That was absolutely superb. And now I call on Babita Jhunjhunwala, the founder of Man Ki Baat. Let's put our hands together for her. Hers is a story of a shy, introverted lady, from an extremely shy and dutiful homemaker to a woman of substance. A multifaceted healer, her demure manner epitomizes quiet confidence and the will to change and heal one step at a time. Let's put our hands together for her.
Thank you, Pragati. Guys, I'm feeling a little nervous, so just bear with me. Thank you. What we were in the past doesn't define us. What we choose to be surely does. I'm adorable. I'm likable. I'm one of God's beautiful creations. I am one of a kind. I say this now with confidence, but there was a time when hearing these words for myself would have seemed inconceivable, unbelievable even. Good evening, everyone. I'm Babita Chindranwala, psychological counselor, lucky wife, proud mother of 2 sons, and co-founder of Man Ki Baat, a journey within a mental health service. There was a phase in my life when I was a homemaker and all my activities revolved around caring for my family and my home. It felt like that I was enjoying myself, but somewhere there was a vacuum and I felt that I was missing something. So how did my journey as a psychological counselor begin? One day while having a conversation with a friend, she mentioned having done a counseling course and was really happy having done it. I realized that this was an excellent opportunity for me to learn something new and make productive use of my time. However, there came an uninvited guest, self-doubt. When change happens, it is because you make it happen. Before I could indulge in this self-doubt, I took the leap and joined the course. For the first time in my life, I was doing something solely for myself, without informing anyone. It was a little scary, but I was determined. Studying again after a gap of 30 years, the classes at Cornash were a revelation. I learned about self-care, how you cannot pour from an empty cup, how when you only care for yourself first, can you genuinely care for others. This was an entirely new concept for me. Could I really think of myself first? Would that not be selfish? Would I not feel guilty for prioritizing my needs ahead of that of my family? You know, when we start something new, we need to find the balance and I was slowly but surely finding the balance between my 2 worlds, my home and my profession. You must be wondering when did I tell my family? I told them after 2 weeks of joining the course, but by then I had already embarked on this journey and there was no turning back. I went on to do a course in psychotherapy, relationship counseling and PGTM in counseling. It was during COVID that my co-founder Saroj Agarwal and I started Man Ki Baat, a journey within, to provide help for those struggling with stress and anxiety, and this was a voluntary service which we continued throughout the pandemic. We wanted to provide a safe space for people to talk about their Man Ki Baat. We believe that the change we want comes from within, and for that we need to take a journey inwards and know ourselves. Hence we came up with the tagline, a journey within. Man Ki Baat has a vision to destigmatize mental health and counseling and raise the awareness that people can talk about the smallest of issues to gain clarity. We conduct workshops on various topics and have catered to many prestigious and professional platforms in Kolkata and beyond. We have hosted panel discussions and videos on diverse topics. You know, one of our panel discussions on jealousy revealed that sometimes we are jealous of our children too. Our discussion on body shaming gave us the insight that we body shame ourselves long before anyone else does. And a panel discussion on gaslighting showed that we might be the victim, but sometimes we gaslighted others without even being aware of it. We discussed the changing face of parent and child relationships with the principal of a famous school in Kolkata. We discussed the connection between menopause and mental health with a renowned gynecologist of Kolkata. These topics are often left unspoken, but they are highly relevant in our society. These topics were an eye-opener for our audience. A client shared that she often thought that she couldn't do anything right and whatever went wrong around her, she was responsible. But on watching our discussion, she realized that she was being gaslighted. A few sessions with me helped her address and deal with the issues. What would you want? Love or respect? We want to be loved, right? But you know what our panel discussion revealed? Most would want to be respected first. Love would follow automatically. Are you surprised? A earning adult living under the burden of their parents' expectations. A child who starts college in a different city or country and receives a culture shock. Domestic disharmony. The challenges that parents and children face with the times. All these issues have been discussed in my sessions. Recently, a client received freedom from the fear of death she had for 2 years because her parents had died days apart from each other. Another client who could not trust her colleagues and delegate responsibility realized that it was due to the trust broken in her childhood. These topics show that we all need a trusted professional to talk to and deal with our issues. My journey as a psychological counselor has helped me in my transformation too. And before I go ahead, I would like to say that Man Ki Baat is now coming up with a plethora of panel discussions, and amongst them the first one is going to be the relationship between physical health and mental health. And whoever among my audience wants us to workshop for their school, for their college, for their organization or for their company are most welcome to contact us. When I look back today, I see a woman who worked through her self-doubt, who challenged herself, who stepped out of her comfort zone, and who embraced self-care without guilt. I believe by helping one person, we may not be able to change the world, but we will be changing the world of that one person, and I firmly stand by this belief. Thank you so much.
Absolutely amazing, Babita. Who would believe that this lady with a powerful message for all of us was once a shy housewife? And now, I have another power-packed lady for you. Let's put our hands together for Madhu Sharda, the founder of Spirit Healing Touch. Let's put our hands together for Madhu Sharda. Her vivacity, her zest for life amazes me. I hope when I am much older, I display the same. So without much ado, I hand over the stage to Madhu Sharda. Please welcome her.
नमस्ते, मैं मधु शारदा हूँ और भी एक एनर्जी टेक्नीशियन एक तरह से, क्योंकि एनर्जी ट्रांसफॉर्म करते हैं, एनर्जी के थ्रू बनी चीज़ें सॉल्व करते हैं स्पिरिट हीलिंग टच के नाम से। और तो कुछ भी नहीं है, बस ये लाइफ है, लाइफ का अपना एक प्रवाह है जीवन का, जिसमें बहुत खुशियाँ भी होती हैं, पर कभी कभी पेन भी आ जाते हैं और इतने गहरे पेन होते हैं कि लगता है सब कुछ ख़त्म। पर वही हमारे लाइफ का टर्निंग पॉइंट होता है कि हमको उस वक्त उठना है या टूटना है। वी वॉन्ट टू गेट वुंडेड और वी वॉन्ट टू गेट वाइज। लाइफ में सभी कुछ बहुत अच्छा था, जैसे एक नॉर्मल लाइफ होती है, घूमना फिरना, पार्टी करना, शॉपिंग करना, गॉसिप भी करना, सब कुछ था। पर फिर भी उस लाइफ में एक कोई सब्सटेंस नहीं था, अपने अंदर में एक खोज थी, एक गहरा वैक्यूम था, अपने आप से खुश नहीं थी। तो वो नाराज़गी अक्सर शिकायतों के रूप में, गुस्से के रूप में दूसरों से निकलती थी। पर फिर लाइफ में एक टर्निंग पॉइंट आया कि बच्चे अलग घर में, बेटा अलग घर में रहने गया, तो उस समय मैं इमोशनली एकदम ब्रेक हो गई। लगा अब तो जीने की कोई वजह ही नहीं है, किसके लिए जिए। तो उसको बोलती थी तुम रोज आओ, वो रोज आता भी था, पर नहीं आता तो झगड़ा करती। तो एक दिन उसने बोला, थोड़ा अपने में खुश रहना क्यों नहीं सीखते हो? बहुत बुरा लगा कि कैसे बोल रहा है, पर अंदर आवाज़ आई कि बहुत ठीक बोल रहा है, ये तो मुझसे कोई चीज़ की डिमांड नहीं करता, शिकायत नहीं करता, तो मैं अपने में खुश क्यों नहीं रहती हूँ? पर कभी सीखा ही नहीं था कि जीवन अपने लिए भी होता है। भगवान से प्रार्थना करती थी कि भगवान रास्ता बताओ, कैसे मैं अपना जीवन अपने लिए खुशी का बनाऊं, मतलब का बनाऊं, पर्पस का बनाऊं। तो शायद प्रार्थनाएं फलीभूत हुई। सत्संग से जुड़ी हुई थी पहले भी, उसमें और थोड़ा गहरे गई और भी बहुत स्पिरिचुअल कोर्सेज किए जहाँ से अपनी आत्मा की पहचान हुई। तब पहली बार समझ में आया कि जीवन तो वास्तव में स्वयं के लिए ही है, दूसरे तो केवल इसमें सहायक हैं, वो हर तरह से सहायता ही कर रहे हैं। पर फिर भी माइंड बहुत परेशान रहता था, रेस्टलेस, अंदर बहुत प्रश्न तूफान। तो कोऑर्डिनेशन मिला, वहाँ काउंसलिंग के कोर्स किए और भी बहुत सारे कोर्सेज किए ऑनलाइन तरह तरह के, जहाँ अपने इनर चाइल्ड से पहचान हुई, उसको जाना, उसको पहचाना, सबसे बड़ी बात उसको सुनना सीखा। लगा मेरे अंदर भी कोई एक सा है जो खिलना चाहता है, जो अपनी प्रेजेंस बनाना चाहता है। राहें तो मिली पर चलना इतना आसान भी नहीं होता है। इट टेक्स लॉट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क, डिसिप्लिन, ग्रेट डिटर्मिनेशन एंड इमेंस इनर स्ट्रेंथ। तो जहाँ चाह वहाँ रहा। फिर प्राणिक हीलिंग मिली, उसके सारे कोर्स किए, रेकी के सारे कोर्स किए, तरह तरह की हीलिंग सीखी, कार्मिक हीलिंग, एंसेस्ट्रल हीलिंग, सब। तो आत्मा की पावर मिली, क्लैरिटी माइंड की मिली और कॉस्मिक एनर्जी का सहारा मिला, जिससे अपने शक्ति चक्रों को जाना, उस शक्ति को यूज़ करना, ट्रांसफॉर्म करना जाना। बस फिर तो जैसे अपने पे काम करने का एक जुनून सा हो गया। आज उसका एक ट्रांसफॉर्मर, सबसे बड़ा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लगता है कि जो मैं अपने से निराश थी, मेरे पास ही जीने की वजह नहीं थी, आज जाने कितनों के जीवन में सब्सटेंस लाने में, सॉल्यूशन लाने में, उत्साह लाने में सहायक हूँ। 200 से ज़्यादा लोगों को हीलिंग सिखा भी चुकी हूँ, जिनके जीवन में पॉजिटिव चेंज है। फाइनेंशियल, मेंटल, इमोशनल, रिलेशन, हर फील्ड में एक सबकी लाइफ में एक पॉजिटिव चेंज लाने में सहायक हूँ। घर में यंगस्टर्स के लिए गीता होती है, मेडिटेशन वीक में 2 बार होता है। सुबह सुबह जब व्हाट्सएप खुलता है तो अक्सर किसी के थैंक्स या ग्रेटिट्यूड से खुलता है, तो इतना अच्छा लगता है बस एक अपने से प्यार हो गया है। और जो मैं अपने से नाराज रहती थी, अब लगता है आई एम इन लव विद माई सेल्फ। और दूसरा जो चीज लगता है कि जो अकेलापन, एक वैक्यूम, बोर्डम, अब तो इस शब्द ही बन के रह गए हैं। अब तो लगता है पूरा यूनिवर्स ही तो मेरा है, मैं अकेले कहाँ हूँ। और दूसरी बात लगती है कि हमेशा मुझे लगता था आई एम गुड फॉर नथिंग, आई एम होपलेस। अब लगता है आई एम ऑल्सो गुड फॉर समथिंग। और अब मुझे सबको देख के लगता है कि अगर मैं इस एज में आके गुड फॉर समथिंग हो सकती हूँ, तो सब यंग लोग तो कितना गुड फॉर मैनी थिंग्स हो सकते हैं। तो लगता है कि एवरी लाइफ एक ब्यूटीफुल लाइफ है, उसमें एक ब्यूटीफुल मेलोडी है, बहुत पोटेंशियल है, पर हमारे अंदर में करेज नहीं होता है, क्लैरिटी नहीं होती है, सोशल कंडीशनिंग्स होती हैं, रॉन्ग इंटरप्रिटेशंस होते हैं, अपने सेल्फ लिमिटिंग बिलीव्स बचपन से ले लिए जाते हैं। उन सब के कारण वो मेलोडी दब के रह जाती है और वो दबी हुई मेलोडी शोर बन जाती है अंदर में, एंग्जाइटी, डिप्रेशन, स्ट्रेस के रूप में। अच्छाइयाँ ही कुंठाएँ बनती है, वरना कोई कुंठाएँ नहीं होती हैं। तो इसलिए अब लगता है कि जैसे हम अपनी फिजिकल हेल्थ के लिए कोई भी हेल्प लेने के लिए तैयार होते हैं, फिजिकल फिटनेस के लिए योगा करते हैं, डाइट करते हैं, नेचुरोपैथी में जाते हैं, तरह तरह की करते हैं, तो ऐसे ही अपने एक पॉजिटिव माइंड सेट, वाइब्रेंट इमोशनल हैप्पी लाइफ के लिए हम क्यों ना स्पिरिचुअल काउंसलिंग, हीलिंग, सब तरह की होलिस्टिक अप्रोच लें और अपने जीवन को सुंदर बनाएं। मुझे सदगुरु का एक चीज़ समझ में आता है कि उनको किसी ने बोला आप सुपर ह्यूमन है, उन्होंने बोला नहीं, सुपर ह्यूमन नहीं होते, ह्यूमन ही सुपर। तो अपनी सुपरनेस को निकालें।
आपने बहुत ही ही अच्छा बोला मधु जी, तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से पता चल रही है कि लोगों को इतना आपने इंस्पायर किया। Our next speaker is Sanjana Bhajanka, baby planner and entrepreneur, the founder of Casa Privé. Let's put our hands together for her. From parenting hacks to bespoke wallpaper, an interesting transformation. Wouldn't you say that? Armed with a professional law degree from London, she transitioned from promoting positive parenting to becoming the proud owner of a brand called Casa Privé and the founder of an NGO for children called Live Strong Foundation. She believes the way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. I am delighted to call Madam Barrister on stage.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Good evening, everyone. As Maya Angelou once said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. These words have resonated deeply with me throughout my journey into motherhood. When I first entered the overwhelming world of pregnancy and parenting, I found myself flooded with information. Yet, despite all the resources, I still felt lost and uncertain. It was during this time that I realized how transformative guidance and support could help new mothers. This realization sparked a deep desire to help others. Driven by this passion, I enrolled in the Baby Planner course and earned my certification from the International Parenting and Health Institute. This education gave me the knowledge, confidence, and structure to offer professional support. I began hosting one-on-one sessions and group classes, providing tailored guidance through pregnancy. But I wanted to reach more families. So I turned to social media, sharing content that resonated with others, offering practical tips and emotional support for navigating the challenges of motherhood. I remember with my firstborn, when they handed her over to me in the nursery at the hospital to take home, I was so overwhelmed. She was entirely dependent on me for survival was terrifying. In that moment, I did want to run away. She is my world and the center of my universe, but at that moment, I felt a deep fear. No one ever spoke about this experience. All I heard was how amazing pregnancy and breastfeeding were, but my reality was far from that. As I began talking to other mothers, I realized that many had similar feelings, so why is it not discussed openly? As my journey continued, I dwelled deeper into parenting, crafting content that spoke to the hearts of fellow mothers. I shared everyday challenges and triumphs that often go unspoken. I also tackled taboo topics, those often swept under the rug, such as postpartum depression, the anxiety that strikes in the quiet of the night, and the societal pressure to be perfect. I'm sure most of you sitting here are parents, right? So if I asked you, do you think your child is connected to you? What would your answer be? Mostly yes, I'm sure. But have you ever thought what it is to be truly connected to your children? Is it just the hugs and the kisses and the love that they shower on you now and then? Is there true connection? Think about it. Dr. Shefali said, the child is connected to us when we are connected to us. And when a child feels that connection, they will not show up as a good girl, a good boy, or people pleasers, but as someone who is boldly, fearlessly able to express themselves. And we can observe how freely they are able to express their emotions, how safe they are to be themselves, to make mistakes, to be imperfect. That child is the child who is connected to their parents. The rest are connected to their parents' ego. The parents' ego that needs the child to be a certain way, and that's not true connection. Over the past 8 years of my parenting journey, I've learned some valuable lessons that have changed my perspective, and I would like to share a few with you. The way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. It's crucial to be mindful of how we speak to them. If we tell them they are not good enough, they will believe they are not. How we respond to their emotions shapes them into resilient humans. Think about this scenario. If your child is crying, instead of saying, stop that crying now or stop whining, try saying this to them. I know you're upset. Do you need a hug? Or do you want to talk about it when you're calmer? See the difference in your child. Children may not always listen to us, but they never fail to imitate us. I'll give you a small example. When my daughter spilled a glass of milk, I remember once, instead of getting angry or scolding her, "Why can't you be more careful? What have you done?" I just said calmly to her, "It's okay, it happens, let's get it cleaned up." When my son was not even 2, I think he spilled a glass of water a few months back, I saw my daughter doing and saying the same thing to him. It's amazing how children mimic our responses and actions. I was so proud because I would be so scared as a child to make mistakes. And to see generational cycles break was such an amazing feeling. Children spell love as time. We all have busy lives, but when we are with our children, even if it's for an hour, we need to give them the undivided attention because they deserve it. They don't need fancy toys or clothes, they need us. When we listen to them in the small moments, they'll be more likely to share the bigger things when they grow up. Through my work, I aim to inspire and support parents on their unique journeys. By sharing my experiences and expertise, I hope to create a ripple effect of positivity, encouraging parents to trust in themselves and their instincts. Together, we can break down the barriers of silence and stigma and build a positive community that celebrates the beauty and complexities of parenthood. In addition to my work as a baby planner and content creator, I'm incredibly proud to be the co-founder of Casa Preview Wallpapers, a luxury bespoke wallpaper brand. The inspiration for this venture came when I was designing my son's room and noticed a gap in the market for high-quality, personalized children's wallpapers. What began with designing wallpapers for kids' spaces has since expanded to include all types of spaces. At Casa Preview, our brand values inclusivity, diversity, and creativity. We work closely with clients to create unique, beautiful spaces that reflect their personalities. Whether it's incorporating your child's glasses, freckles, or hearing aids into a designer element, we aim to make every child feel safe and seen in their own space. Not only did I make it into a brand, I'm aiming to lead the luxury bespoke wallpaper industry. Lastly, she lists for her kids the kind of mom who would move mountains to make their lives better. She's the one staying up late, finishing projects, packing lunches with notes. Cheering the loudest at every game or recital, she's their biggest fan and fiercest protector. The steady anchor they can always count on. She puts herself last without hesitation, pouring everything that she has into their happiness, even on the hardest days. When she is running on empty, she shows up because they are her world. She is not perfect, but to her kids, she is everything and she wouldn't have it any other way. She is me and she is every mother present here today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Sanjana. At this event, we have 3 categories of speakers: the professionals, the therapists, researchers, and the survivors. Now, we will hear a survivor story, a woman who epitomizes courage, resilience, and transformation. I got really inspired when I heard her story. So let's put our hands together for Sudha Jain.
सबको मेरा नमस्ते और जय जीवन। मैं कोलकाता दिगंबर जैन समाज से हूँ। मेरा नाम सुधा जैन काला है। मैं कुछ गलत बोलूँ तो उसके लिए पहले ही माफ़ी मांग लेती हूँ। 5 मिनट का समय अपनी पास्ट हिस्ट्री जो मेरी रही है 50-60 सालों की, उसको बताने के लिए 5 मिनट बहुत कम है शायद। मैं बिहार के एक छोटे से गांव से हूँ, सरिया हजारीबाग की हूँ। वहाँ मेरी क्लास 12 तक की पढ़ाई हुई थी। फिर मैं वहाँ 5 जनरेशन के परिवार के साथ पली बड़ी। बहुत प्यार मोहब्बत से रही, बहुत माने बहुत प्यार। मतलब मेरे जो ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर थे उस जमाने में भी मुझे नाश्ता कराकर स्कूल भेजते थे। उस समय मैं एप्पल खाती, ऑरेंज खाती, ये सब उस जमाने में भी खाती थी। जस्ट बता रही हूँ। अब 19 साल की मैं हो गई, मेरी शादी हो गई। यहाँ भी बहुत एजुकेटेड, हाईली एजुकेटेड परिवार मिला, 4 जनरेशन का। गांव से मैं शहर आ गई। 1 साल बाद मेरी प्यारी सी बेटी हुई। फिर उसके बाद मेरे हस्बैंड का ट्रैवल शुरू हो गया। वो 1-1 महीने 2-2 महीने के लिए बाहर काम से जाने लगे। तो फिर मैं उन दिनों बहुत लोनली फील करती थी, जबकि घर में सब थे, बहुत प्यार मोहब्बत था, लेकिन एक हस्बैंड से जो हम अपनी बात शेयर करते हैं उसके लिए कोई नहीं था। आज की तरह मोबाइल नहीं होते थे, ना तो रोज की तरह पार्टियां होती थी जो आज होती है, ना इतने दोस्त होते थे कि रोज बाहर आना जाना है, तो शायद थोड़ी सी घुटती थी मन में। सब बीतता गया। यहाँ उसके बाद मेरा 5 साल बाद बेटा हुआ। मेरी खुशी का ठिकाना नहीं था। मेरे दिमाग में बस एक बात थी कि मुझे बेटा नहीं होगा। वो इसलिए कि हम पहले 2 बहनें हैं, तो सब ये कहते थे इसके तो बेटा होगा ही नहीं, इसकी बेटियां ही होगी। और भाई नहीं था, तो और जब बेटा हुआ तो मुझे तो खुशी, मतलब इतनी खुशी कि सब कुछ मिल गया जहाँ की, तो वो खुशी मेरे लिए खराब हो गई। फिर जब मैं घर आई हॉस्पिटल से तो मेरे स्वभाव बदलने लगे, मेरे स्वभाव में बदलाव आने लगा। मैं रात भर जगती थी और मतलब सुबह 3-4 बजे उठ जाती। सबकी बिजी लाइफ थी, सब अपने अपने काम करते थे, बहुत अच्छे थे, बहुत ध्यान देते थे। कुक खाना बना के देता, उस पर चिल्लाती, सामान उठा के फेंकती, लाइक जो जो करती थी मैं बता रही हूँ। उसके बाद मेरा रूटीन वर्क मैं करती और गुस्सा ज्यादा होने की वजह से फिर बाबूजी मेरे बहुत दूरदर्शी थे, वो बहुत पढ़े लिखे थे। उन्होंने कहा सुधा ऐसी तो नहीं है, इसके स्वभाव में इतना बदलाव आ रहा है, क्या बात है, चलो डॉक्टर को दिखाते हैं। तो बाबूजी से मैं झगड़ा करी, मैं बोली डॉक्टर के बाबूजी अभी मैं हॉस्पिटल से आई हूँ, फिर से डॉक्टर को दिखाते हैं, मैं नहीं जाऊँगी। लेकिन बाबूजी डॉक्टर के लिए गए, फिर मैं हॉस्पिटलाइज हुई। हॉस्पिटल के बाद से मैं ये बोलूँ, देखिए बीमारियां 2 तरह की हैं, फिजिकल हेल्थ एंड मेंटल हेल्थ। फिजिकल हेल्थ के लिए 100 बेस्ट डॉक्टर हैं, 100 इलाज हैं, द बेस्ट नर्सेज हैं, उससे भी द बेस्ट, मतलब सब कुछ बेस्ट ही बेस्ट है। बट मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए डॉक्टर मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन उसके केयर के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है। कुछ भी मतलब कुछ भी नहीं है। मैं जिस हॉस्पिटल में थी, जस्ट फॉर एग्जाम्पल बता रही हूँ, वहाँ मैं जब नहाने जाती थी, क्योंकि जस्ट मेरा मेडिकेशन था, ज़्यादा नहीं था, वहाँ तो बहुत तरह के लोग थे, तो मैं नहाती थी तो वो सैनिटरी पैड होते थे, उसका ढेर हटाती, वहाँ सफाई करती, फिर मैं नहाती थी। तो मैंने वहाँ तक भी देखा है। तब मैं हॉस्पिटल की बात कर रही हूँ कि इस पर ध्यान दिया जाए, हॉस्पिटलों का सुधार किया जाए। फिजिकल हेल्थ क्या है, दवाइयाँ खा लीजिए, अपना हेल्थ न्यूट्रिशन से मिल लीजिए, लेकिन मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए हमको सिर्फ लव, केयर, अफेक्शन और ऑब्जर्वेशन इज मस्ट। आपको किसी के स्वभाव में कुछ बदलाव दिख रहा है, अगर उसका गुस्सा बढ़ गया है या बिना वजह से भी कुछ झगड़ा कर रहे हैं, कोई भी हो, बच्चे बड़े बूढ़े, तो तुरंत काउंसलिंग कराइए, मेरा ये कहना है। मेरा इलाज बाबूजी जो तुरंत काउंसलिंग कराए वो ले गए, तब मैं आज वापस ठीक होके यहाँ खड़ी हूँ, नहीं तो शायद लेट होने से ठीक नहीं होती, यहाँ तक नहीं आती। तो इसकी बिल्कुल चिंता छोड़ दीजिए कि लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं। अगर मैं कहते हैं ना मेंटल डॉक्टर के गया है, मतलब जरूर इस पागल है ये, मेंटल मतलब ये पागल शब्द है ये। और बीमारियों के नाम आपने बहुत अच्छे अच्छे निकाले हुए हैं, कैंसर है, यूट्रस है, थायराइड है, ये है, वो है, इसका नाम सिर्फ एक मेन पागल है। उसके बाद तो इन 10 सालों में बाइपोलर का नाम आया है, डिप्रेशन अब आया है। कोविड के बाद डिप्रेशन शब्द बढ़ गए, क्योंकि डिजिटल वर्ल्ड बढ़ गया, और अब तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, चैट जीपीटी, सब कुछ इतना बढ़ गया कि लोग बात ही नहीं करते। अब सब कुछ इसमें होता है, तो अब हम किसी का स्वभाव जान ही नहीं सकते कि वो क्या बोलना चाह रहा है, क्या चाह रहा है। हम सबसे बात करें, एक दूसरे से बात करें, बच्चों की सुने, बड़ों की सुने, सबके लिए केयर करना बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये तो हॉस्पिटल की बात हुई। उसके बाद मेरा बाद में इन 10 सालों में मेरी बीमारी का नाम बाइपोलर दिया गया, जो मूड स्विंग्स के अनुसार बदलता है। इसमें मैं कभी बहुत खुश होती थी, कभी बहुत रोती थी, ये वगैरह वगैरह। तो ये तो मूड स्विंग्स जो है, ये भी दीपिका जी जो लिव लव फाउंडेशन, लिव लव लाभ का फाउंडेशन चला रही हैं, वो भी बाइपोलर की मरीज रह चुकी हैं, उनको जरूर सुनिए। मैं बहुत से इन लोगों को सुन के इंस्पायर हुई, तब आज यहाँ तक पहुँचकर कुछ बात कर पा रही हूँ कि मेरे जैसे भी कोई हैं। उसके बाद एम्पावर माइंड से भी जुड़ी, जिनकी हेड नीरजा जी बिड़ला है, कुमार मंगलम बिड़ला की वाइफ। कोविड के समय मैं उनको लेकर जीतो, मैं जैन जीतो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़ी हूँ, उसमें उनको लेकर मैं जूम मीटिंग करना चाहती थी और 3-4 बार उनकी फैकल्टी से मेरी मीटिंग भी हुई थी, बस वो डिले हो गया तो इसलिए वो हो नहीं पाया। और आमिर जी की बिटिया जो एकदम छोटी सी है, उसकी शादी अभी हुई है, उसने अपने पास्ट लाइफ को सामने लाकर खुद को एग्जाम्पल बनाकर वो जो कर रही हैं वो तो मतलब आप उसको जरूर देखिए। आमिर जी की वाइफ बेटी का नाम है EaR खान, और जो अगर सू फाउंडेशन चलाती हैं, इन सबसे जुड़िए, सबको देखिए कि क्या क्या होता है दुनिया में। अब इसके बाद मेरी हिम्मत एक बार और आई, कोविड के समय मेरा बेटा का बर्थडे था, तो मैंने कहा चलो कुछ करते हैं, क्योंकि मैं सबकी नज़र में जो मुझसे 10-20 साल बाद मिलता, मुझे उसी नज़र से देखता था कि ये तो थोड़ी सी हो रही हुई है। लेकिन एक शब्द होता है, जो मेंटल इलनेस हो गया और मैं हॉस्पिटल जाई, तो मेरे लिए एक जिंदगी में वो स्टिग्मा जुड़ गया, बहुत कठिन शब्द है। तो मैंने कोविड में अपना एक वीडियो बनाया 3 मिनट का बेटे के बर्थडे के लिए, और मैंने अपने सारे रिश्तेदारों को भेजा। तो मेरे जो बड़े रिश्तेदार, घर वाले और जो नए आए हुए बच्चे, सब ने जाना कि मेरे साथ क्या हुआ था। तो फिर मैंने सब कुछ बताया। उसके बाद फिर मैं थोड़ी फ्री हो गई अब बात करने के लिए, और यहाँ आकर तो पूरी फ्री हो गई कि ये शायद ये लांछन जो लगा हुआ है शायद आप हटा देंगे अब मैं ठीक हूँ। मुझे बहुत दूर तक पहुँचाना है, मेरी बात को बहुत दूर तक पहुँचाना है, ताकि पुराने लोग भी मुझसे मिलें। वो पूछते हैं सुधा तुम कैसी हो, तुम्हारी तबीयत कैसी है, तब मैं रोने लगती हूँ। अभी भी घर आके रोती हूँ कि लोग क्यों पूछते हैं, जबकि मैं ठीक हूँ। तो इतनी बातें मैंने बोली, और बस मेरा कहना ये है कि इसमें हॉस्पिटल को ठीक करें, और जो आज के बच्चे साइकोलॉजी पढ़ रहे हैं उनको ये दवाइयों के बारे में, हमारा मेडिक्लेम नहीं होता है। मैं हॉस्पिटल का मेरा एपिसोड 3-4 बार हुआ एपिसोड, तो कोई दवाइयाँ नहीं मिलती, कोई मेडिक्लेम कभी नहीं मिलता उसका। इसको आगे बढ़ाइए, और हेल्थ मिनिस्टर तक ये बात जरूर पहुंचाइए कि हमें हेल्थ में इमोशनल हेल्थ, फिजिकल हेल्थ 2 का डिवाइड किया जाए, उसको पढ़ाया जाए। और मेन हमारी जो नर्सें हैं, जो ये डोमेस्टिक हेल्पर ही इसमें काम नहीं आएंगी, उनकी ट्रेनिंग होनी चाहिए कि बच्चों को कैसे संभालें घर में, बड़ों को कैसे संभालें, बूढ़ों को कैसे संभालें, जो भी इनकी भी ट्रेनिंग अलग होनी चाहिए। मेंटल हेल्थ वाले घर में भी रहते हैं, उनको संभालने कोई नहीं होता, एक्सपर्ट्स चाहिए जो उनको प्यार, मोहब्बत और बहुत ध्यान से, प्यार से संभालें। बस मैं आपसे क्षमा चाहूँगी। बहुत ही अच्छा आपने बोला।
सुधा जी बहुत ब्रेव है, डोंट यू ऑल अग्री? यू नो, इन टुडेज डे एंड एज हम बहुत डरते हैं कि कोई हम पे लेबल लगा दे, नहीं लगा दे। इस तरह से फ्रीली बोलना बहुत ही करेजियस है। तो आई थिंक एक और ताली वो डिजर्व करती है। हमारी अगली स्पीकर है स्वाति खेमका, एन इमोशनल वेलनेस स्पीकर, अ मदर armed with a formal degree in fashion, dabbling in the business of fashion. From there, she is now actually into the fashion of owning her own space and being herself. So let's welcome Swati Khemka.
Thank you, Pragati. How many of you know that the Indian wedding industry is worth billions of dollars and is the largest in the world? So much goes into the preparations to make the day perfect and unique. But do we leave enough room for healthy conversations before into what going into making the marriage truly loving and beautiful? In today's changing dynamics of relationships, young people are often left to figure things out. Our expectations, contrasting values, hectic schedules, and the different stages of life in general, they take a toll on even the most romantic people. With my right dominant brain, I have somewhat been creative, spontaneous, and deeply emotional. I urge everyone to embrace open dialogue, before getting into any meaningful and serious relationship. Because it is not just the destination, but the journey which is truly important. I have had my share of battles. I have also felt lost and tried to figure my way out. I was surrounded by people, yet there was this constant ache to know more, be more, and feel more. On my path to learning, I discovered I was sitting on a heap of beautiful shit that I needed to get rid of. And why? Because I didn't have the right conversations at the right time. Nevertheless, I took up therapy and kept at it, although feeling a little unsure. I realized no work can actually begin unless we admit that our scenario is not perfect and it needs improvement. Some truths came as revelation and some as shocks that took time to process. Setting boundaries was a major challenge, and I was constantly living in shame, guilt, and confusion. My unfulfilled expectations from my family and my inability to accept my own desire for more love and acceptance, it was drowning me. Reacting after bottling up my emotions for a long time made me react in such a way that it created havoc. Sometimes it's not what we say, but how we say that truly matters. Anyway, the gaslighting and criticism, the self-criticism really took a toll on my physical and mental health. I wonder, why did I not say anything sooner? And what was I so unsure about? Anyway, it doesn't matter now. I grew more resentful, bitter, and I kept overthinking. My children became my only source of joy. And although I thought I'd be able to keep my children out of the toxicity. But they are like sponge. They absorb everything. Sometimes, people live on their own paths while performing their roles, whether it is a provider or a nurturer. They forget to appreciate one another and respect one another. It gets tiring, lonely, and disheartening. As I took therapy, slowly and steadily, I realized my self-esteem was improving. I got the courage to take up more challenges in my professional as well as personal life. Pictures and videos of new skills acquired, new recipes tried and mastered, these amazing jalebis, rasgullas, and the fucking dalgonas. Anyone remember? Yes, true. And here I was, feeling hopeless, pathetic, and lonely. Spirituality also doesn't help the hopeless. I took the first step again, sought help, and I'm really thankful for the support that I've always received in the past decade from Cornish. There are still times when my confidence dwindles. It is during these times that I put my trust on someone else's faith in me. It is really true that, you can never really over-appreciate anyone. Genuine compliments always hold a special place in your heart. My family and my few handful friends took so much pride in me that it gave me the courage to start rebuilding again. I believe life is not a single race to the finish. It is a series of marathons where my own continuous movement will matter. I promise myself that I will not stop. I will work hard and really, rebuild myself and find my new net worth. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Now, let's welcome Santosh Ruta.
EaR coach, chartered accountant, and author. She's a serial number cruncher. As human beings, as women, we go through many challenges. From a CA to becoming an EaR coach. This is the journey that Santosh has traveled, and she will be sharing it with us today. So let's put our hands together for Santosh.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm so thrilled and excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. In life, we all are driven by a purpose, be it money, wealth, ambition, love, anything. But at the most raw level, we all want to satisfy that itch, that khujli, that keeps us nagging to go beyond our own limits, that forces us to dream and that asks us to wake up every morning. But still, we live with that itch helplessly. After getting one thing done, we move on to another just to satisfy that itch. Let me tell you a story about a girl who has this itch of fixing everything in and around her. It started with fixing the atmosphere of the house, the tension between friends or at a workplace, and carrying the same itch into her relationship after her marriage. Yet her itch was not satisfied. She kept on fixing things and people around her, thinking herself Mataji in others' life. Behold will come one day that people will realize her worth and worship her for the sacrifices she made. They would adore her and respect her, and her name will be written in the golden letters in the history of humankind for being so loving and caring. But a few pieces of appreciation here and there on her way solidify her belief that she was on the right track. But that itch, it kept on increasing. लेकिन उसको तो कम होना चाहिए था ना? When she had her first child, she faced postpartum depression, which she was not even aware of. There was a huge crack in her belief when she couldn't find anyone to hold her, understand her, and be there with her the way she wanted. It took an immense toll on her emotional well-being and mental health. The tsunami of the emotion came threatening with the second one when she was not able to cope up with the demand it reached. She felt incompetent, incomplete, underconfident, and in the pit of huge self-doubt, which weakened her decision-making power. She found that nobody was happy around her and with her. लेकिन उसने तो अपनी सारी जिंदगी दूसरों की खुशियों का ही सोचा था. फिर कैसे हुआ? She felt she doesn't deserve living because she cannot make anybody happy. She became like a sponge, a little rough, and she was overwhelmed. There was immense pain she could not relate or navigate. Her heart felt so heavy that she cried, but she didn't have the reason why. Scared to share because she didn't want to feel judged and simply not ready to take any loose comment on her. Life is not that dark constantly as you must have started feeling, listening to me. It showers happy moments on us, and there are people in our life who genuinely care for us. But they are not responsible for our happiness. The actual question here is to not lose ourselves in the journey called life, to not lose our joy in our intimate relationship, and not to carry that baggage of emotions like guilt, blame, anger, hatred, complaints with us throughout. It becomes so heavy that it will not allow you to breathe, and you end up tagging yourself as loser or a doormat in your own eyes. But I'm so thankful for that khujli. वो हमें इतना परेशान करती है कि हमको अपना रास्ता ढूंढना ही पड़ता है. So she, that is me, standing here and talking itself means कि मुझे मेरी खुजली को ठीक करने का उपाय मिल गया है. I am a chartered accountant who started working after the gap of 12 years. I published my first book last year and was out in the public with my emotions and my thoughts. I am a trained counselor and an EaR coach. And most important thing, I learned driving last year, which used to trigger anxiety in me. And luckily, I have not killed anybody yet. Magic is nothing but the belief in yourself. Cornash gave me that wand to do some magic on myself. If my way was not working, then I need to change my way. But how? I came here with the intention to help those who were as lonely as me and in that painful state. But I never knew that my pain can be healed. I can have a new set of dreams to achieve, and I can feel being loved. Doing inner child healing session with Devilina ma'am healed me in true sense. I got answers of my lots of why, जिन्होंने मेरी पूरी जिंदगी परेशान करके रखी थी. Once you realize that you are the key to your own happiness, it's liberating, it's magical, and it makes your heart go lighter like feather. When Pragati ma'am tells you to owe whatever it is, good or bad, and walk confidently, it hits you in the right spot. You get a community who gives you the confidence to share and feel whatever you want to. Because we all are in the journey with our own baggages, the best we can do is to be there for each other empathetically. Once I broke the shackle of my own belief, I'm in the continuous process of becoming my own better version. I believe only I can color my blank canvas and nobody else. If I practice self-love, I have lots of love to give to this world. And when this is working, that means I'm on the right track. I sincerely hope each of you have that khujli, जो आपको वहाँ पे बैठने ना दे helplessly, जो आपको force करे कि आप वहाँ से उठे और अपना रास्ता ढूंढे, अपनी खुशियों को चुने. I'm super grateful for this moment, for this new energy, for new dreams, for new equation in my relationship which I enjoy, for new respect I found for myself, for new confidence I glow in, for new supportive group I have, for new light I see myself in, and the whole new tank of love that I reserve just for myself. Thank you so much for this opportunity and honor.
Simply fabulous, Santosh. The way you crunch numbers, I'm sure you're going to crunch all these multiple roles with ease. Our next speaker is Ashna Lahoti. Ashna is a qualified clinical psychologist, and we'll be talking about a project dear to her heart, her signature program, Happy Bumps. This initiative takes new mothers and their families through a sensitive educational journey, focusing on maintaining a healthy mind while navigating motherhood, postpartum recovery, and family support for new mothers. So without much ado, let's welcome Ashna on stage.
Motherhood is supposed to be the happiest time of your life. So why does it feel so lonely? Did you know statistically, 22% women in India suffer with postpartum depression? This means 1 in 5 women suffer with postpartum depression. If you ask me, these are just numbers. It's much, much more common than craving for pani puris during pregnancy. I'm Ashna, a psychologist, and today I'm speaking not just as a professional, but also as someone who's walked through the shadows of postpartum depression. When I had my baby, things didn't go as planned. She had to stay back at the hospital a little longer than expected. I remember feeling guilty, helpless, alone. I remember telling my parents I didn't want to see anyone, talk to anyone. I just wanted to be. Why me? And the irony is, even though I knew about postpartum depression, I still felt lost. I still felt alone. In our country, when a woman conceives a baby, she also conceives a committee of well-meaning, unsolicited advisors. There's always an advice on what to eat for baby's growth, what to drink to make the baby fairer. Yup, genetics got nothing on us. And the neighborhood auntie who always knows why your baby is crying. But amid all this noise, we often forget about the mother. We often say, थकावट है, you're just tired. सबको होता है. My question is, अगर सबको होता है, तो why don't we talk about it? We discuss breastfeeding, stroller brands, diaper brands very comfortably. But mental health, it continues to be a whisper. I didn't talk about it. I know. I was supposed to be strong. A superwoman. And superwoman I was. Super tired, super exhausted, super sleep deprived. The truth is, we are all superwomen. Not because we have it together, but because we are conditioned to be everything, all the people, at all times. I don't know a single mother who hasn't faced baby blues, postpartum depression, or postpartum depletion. Yes, depletion, because it depletes you, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually. It's not just feeling a little down, it's overwhelming sadness, anxiety, rage. Imagine not having slept for days or even months together because you are sleeping with someone who has the lung capacity of an opera singer. It can feel like a detachment from the baby, which almost sounds like saying I hate mangoes in our country. Because you're supposed to be glowing. News flash, you do glow. After becoming a mother, you glow forever. Usually from the sweat of running after your child. But here's the thing. Even superheroes need a sidekick. While I wanted to shut the world out, I'm grateful for those who did not leave my side. They sat with me, sat beside me, quietly, just being there. Seeking help wasn't weakness. It was in fact the strongest thing that I did. So how can we as a community truly help new mothers? Let's keep it simple. Check, but with care. Instead of asking, is the baby sleeping through the night? Let's ask the mother how she is doing. That makes her feel health is health, period. We need supportive environments, families who listen without judgment, professionals who check on mother's health just like they check the baby's weight and head circumference. We need to discuss a mother's emotional milestones, the first tear of joy, the first sleep-deprived night, just like we discuss a baby's milestones. New moms do not need grand solutions. They need a tribe to be seen, to be heard, to belong to. And that's exactly why I created Happy Bumps. A safe space where we can embrace the miracle of life while acknowledging the miracle can sometimes feel like a circus act gone wrong. Where we talk about maternal mental health alongside with all the cravings. Over a period of 12 sessions, we speak about from growing a baby to growing anxiety, mom guilt versus reality check, what to do when my feet disappear. It takes a village to not lose completely. Emotional first aid kit and other things. Why Happy Bumps? Because no one tells you that pregnancy isn't just about glowing. It's also about losing your sanity one sleepless night at a time. It can also sometimes mean going to the bathroom is a code for I need a break. So here I am, talking about the overrated journey of motherhood, where I believe that a happy bump isn't just about a healthy baby, it's attention, but also embracing mothers as humans. Thank you.
Well, you did bell the cat, Ashna, because we are used to the image of Mother India as Nargis, who would do anything for her children. So thank you for bringing to life how is it that we can all support new mothers without just epitomizing her as a goddess and who doesn't live in reality. My next speaker is a dynamic young lady who actually is working in a sphere which very few delve into. That is, she talks about supporting senior citizens. She is a psychologist and the founder of Holding Hands. And it's a unique initiative in Calcutta because while we have so many support groups for adolescents, for parents, and for people suffering from various mental health disorders, there's nothing which talks about helping senior citizens live a life of dignity. So let's put our hands together for emotional wellness speaker Renu Todi.
Hello, I'm Renu Todi, an emotional speaker and a psychological counselor by profession. My passion lies in dancing, socializing, taking care of people, and a compassionate company to people. Of course, I also take immense pride in being a mother and a wife. But beyond these roles, I always felt there was more to me, something I needed to discover for myself. For the longest time, if you had asked me to introduce myself, I would have spoken about my family, about my sons, my daughters, my loving husband. My identity was attached to theirs. And while I was surrounded by a big family with all the love and responsibility that came with it, there was always a lingering thought in my mind, is this all I meant to do? I enjoyed maintaining my home, taking care of the upholstery, making sure the crockery was in place, and being a good homemaker. But I knew there had to be more. The thought of aging frightened me, not just physically, but emotionally. I wasn't afraid of wrinkles or aching joints. I was afraid of loneliness. I realized that if I had this fear, many others my age must have felt the same way. As I spent time studying mental health, I noticed something unsettling. While there was immense focus on child psychology, youth psychology, even counseling for marital issues, there was hardly any emphasis on senior citizens' mental health. It was almost as if we were for the forgotten ones, as if our emotional well-being no longer mattered to the society. This realization turned into a deep conviction. I had to do something about it, and that is how I became a strong advocate for senior citizens' mental health. This personal mission led me to create Holding Hands, a space where the elderly could come together, find companionship, and rediscover the joy of living. In our society, entertainment for senior citizens is often seen as a sin. It is almost as if they are expected to spend all their time in religious rituals or in a quiet servitude to their families. But for me, laughter, conversations, and games have always played an important role in keeping life joyful. I believe that the elderly deserve this as much as anyone else. So I started small. I set up a center where senior citizens could register and participate in various activities. This wasn't just about passing time. It was about meaningful engagement. We played games, had intellectual discussions, and provided a safe space where people could de-stress, share their feelings, and support one another. It was about stimulating the mind, fostering friendships, and above all, ensuring that no one felt alone. Holding Hands isn't just about gathering for chit-chat. It is designed to enrich lives. I bring in volunteers who conduct engaging sessions, from cognitive therapy games to discussion forums. Because I understand how aging affects motor skills, we include activities that enhance both cognitive and muscular movements, like mandala art, abstract drawing, and creative exercise. Beyond that, we believe in joy. We have dance and music therapy, singing sessions, and even kirtans. And of course, no gathering is complete without delicious snacks. These sessions are designed to stimulate the mind and keep the body active, and most importantly, nurture the soul. What started as a small initiative has grown into a thriving family of nearly 70 to 80 senior citizens, with more joining every day. One person brings the another, and before we knew it, we built something special. The biggest success of holding hands is seeing how people now fight for their own happiness. I have seen members that they demand that their family provide them with a car as they want to attend the sessions, refusing to adjust to live adjust life any longer. They have learned to prioritize themselves, to claim their rights to companionship and joy. Some stories from a group remain etched in my heart. One woman who lost her young son to a heart attack found solace there. She didn't need words of comfort. She needed people who understood her pain without having to say anything. Holding hands became her support system, a space where she could grieve without judgment and heal in her own time. There's another most inspiring member of ours, an 86 years old woman who refuses to let age define her. She still hones her driving skills and drives herself to our gatherings. She is living proof that age is just a number and life can be as vibrant as you make it. For me, holding hands is not just an initiative, it is a part of me. Every time I see a new member walk in with curiosity, time, laughter erupts in the room. Every time someone shares a story and finds comfort, I know there is what I was meant to do. My fear of aging turned into a mission, and in helping others, I found my own purpose. I no longer feel the void I once did. Instead, I feel immense fulfillment, knowing that I have helped create something that matters. A message to society. If there is one thing I want to say, it is that senior citizens are meant to live in the shadows, are not meant to live in the shadows. They are not just caretakers to the family. They deserve friendships, engaging conversations, and a vibrant social life. To families, I urge you, encourage your elders to socialize. Let them step out, explore their interests, and reclaim their independence. To my fellow senior citizens, I say, do not let society dictate your terms, your limits. Your life does not end at a certain age. Find your tribe, embrace your new experiences, and live with enthusiasm. You deserve it. As for me, my journey continues. And as long as holding hands can bring warmth, laughter, and purpose to even one person, I will know that I have truly lived. Thank you. If anybody wants to connect, my details are there on the speaker.
Yes, we have the brochures.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That was simply wonderful, Renu. And yes, as you can see, change is possible at every age. All we need is a mission or something we believe in. And before we know it, we are absolutely changing the world. Now I have someone who does not promote herself. Very silently, very stoically, and relentlessly, she takes one step at a time. And since more than a decade, she has been doing some amazing work. So let's put our hands together for Manju Pachisia, positive psychologist, the founder of Bellamente. She also runs a lovely NGO called Dilse, which has a unique concept of selling pre-loved clothes. So, welcome Manju Pachisia on stage.
Good evening, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck between who you are and who you want to be? Anyone? I have, and let me tell you, it was like running on a treadmill, moving fast, but getting nowhere. But then something changed. I'm Manju Pachisia, a positive psychology coach, NLP practitioner, and curator of Bellamente, a unique gym for emotional fitness based on group therapy. Today I shall share my transformational journey from numbers to emotions, a story of feeling stuck, finding clarity, and learning how not to just survive but thrive. At 40, I was happy-go-lucky mother of two balancing family life while learning the intricacies of our family business, which revolve around numbers. Numbers had rhythm, logical and predictable. To strengthen my expertise, I pursued financial planning and mastered in numbers. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. I was growing, I was contributing, and I was ticking all the boxes right. But internally, something felt off, like I was playing a role in someone else's script, as if my ladder was put against a wrong wall. I felt like I was climbing a mountain without a roadmap, with no clear destination, and this is how the frustration started creeping in, and so did self-doubt. And if I am being honest, a little envy for those who seem to have their life completely figured out. One morning during my walk, it hit me why I am feeling so unfulfilled. The answer was very simple. Numbers were never my passion. I was good at numbers, but they didn't spark joy in me. They were my skill, but they were not my calling. What truly fascinated me was human behavior. Why people think, feel, and act the way they do. And that single moment of clarity set me on a new path. This newfound clarity led me to Cornash Lifestyle Management School, a center for emotional well-being. After spending years and working with numbers, for the first time, I explored my own emotions, understood my patterns, and bridged the gap between my reality and aspirations. And this self-awareness revealed something very deep, that this was my calling. This was my ikigai, my reason for being, helping people navigate their emotions and guiding them towards self-discovery. This was the work I was meant to do. As a therapist, I noticed a common pattern. People don't talk about their emotions until life or relationship starts falling apart. Suppressing emotions had become the norm, and seeking help was often the last resort. This realization led to the birth of Bellamente in 2013, a gym for emotional fitness. Bellamente, which translates to beautiful mind, is a unique initiative for preventive emotional health care through group therapy. Why preventive emotional health care matters? In today's fast-paced world, emotional challenges such as parenting struggles, marital discord, stress, conflict, work-life balance, etc. can take a huge toll on our mental well-being. While books, workshops, and self-help seminars provide valuable insights, but they often lack continuity, accountability, and real-time application. Consider a fitness analogy. If weight loss is the only goal for joining a gym, the effort often ends once the goal is achieved. Without a sustainable fitness routine, weight gain may return and sometimes worse than before with other complex problems. True physical fitness requires ongoing commitment, motivation, and a structured routine. Just like we exercise regularly to keep our bodies fit, our emotions also needs regular training. Managing life's emotional ups and downs, whether positive or negative, requires consistent effort, motivation, and a structured approach. Recognizing this need, Bellamente was designed as a proactive and preventive emotional wellness initiative through a group therapy structure where people meet, interact, share, and brainstorm on topics of human behavior under the guidance of a trained and experienced professional. As they say, a lot can happen over coffee. Our coffee and conversations model is without any technical jargon. It has just open, honest conversations over coffee, each time at a different venue to create extra zing. Some of our conversations, is it okay to be okay? कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, bitter to better, एल्बर्ट पिंटो को गुस्सा क्यों आता है? मिर्ची लगी, mind the gap, if life came with a GPS, and so on. Through written exercises and experience sharing, participants engage in light-hearted yet introspective and deep conversations. Over 12 years, Bellamente has grown into 2 thriving groups with a growing number of participants. I have witnessed incredible personal transformations. People who once felt lost and overwhelmed now navigate life with confidence and clarity. From numbers to emotions, my own journey has come to a full circle, while Bellamente continues to be a space where people transform, heal, and thrive. Thank you. I want you all to one experience sharing from a group of the member. Please put it on.
Hi, this is Shashi Mota here. I would like to talk about Bellamente. For me, Bellamente is an excellent platform which actually helps us to take care about our mental and emotional health. Our mentor, Manju Pachesia, she comes up with different topics every time we meet over coffee, different places which we go for coffee, and then we have our conversations regarding these topics. It could be anger, jealousy, all these kind of emotions that everybody deals with in our regular lives. And what are the actual antidotes, our behavior, how should we react or respond to situations. So many times we deal with situations subconsciously or unconsciously. We think it's a regular part, but actually it's not. So we learn how to be more mindful about our emotions, about our speech, the way we talk, the way we address. So it's actually changed my life. I've become more mindful, more peaceful. It helps us, number one, in maintaining excellent relationships around us. Number two, for our own well-being. I would suggest Bellamente has really made wonders in my life. So guys, it would be really nice if we all could try here, and it would make a grand difference to all our lives too. Thank you.
So all are invited for coffee and conversation and for some deeper conversations. Thank you.
That was just wonderful, Manju. So you all know, so if you want a cup of coffee and meaningful conversations, Bellamente is the place. Now I invite on stage somebody who needs no introduction. Internationally trained and certified in Heal Your Life protocol. She is a teacher and a manifestation coach and happiness coach. She is a life coach and healer who walks her talk. As the founding member of her organization, let's welcome Davina Fokla on stage. Come on guys, a little more enthusiasm.
Thank you, Pragati. How many of us value our health? Could we raise our hands? Okay, thank you. And how many of us realize that it's the negative emotions don't make us feel physically well, right?
Yes.
I'm Davina Fogla, a happiness and manifestation coach. I started my journey in 2010. I'm humbled to share that I won the Aparajita Awards in the category of mental health and wellness in 2022. I also trained in life skills and coaching from some of the best mentors in the world, the likes being Louis Hay, Dr. Patricia Crane, Mac Attram, Thaddeus Lawrence, and Blair Singer. And I certified to be a life coach and a happiness and manifestation coach as well. Prior to 2010, life was really depressing. I was constantly having back issues. My L4, L5 was not in a good shape. I was constantly reeling in pain, depressed, lost, not knowing what to do. I just felt like running from my situation, very underconfident, low self-esteem. Physiotherapy was also not helping much. Painkillers were also just subsiding it temporarily. My children were so many years younger, and they would come around me, around the bed, asking for my attention, and they wanted to play. But I just couldn't get out of that bed because of the pain. And the pain of that was much, much more than my back pain. And that's the time I said that I really, really need to do something because I don't want to go through a surgery. I was really scared because the doctor said that's the only thing we can do. And I just lay there crying, crying and crying. That's the time I read a line from Dr. Wayne Dyer's book. Within us, we have a divine capacity to attract and manifest whatever you desire. And it was such a deep desire and longing, actually more for the kids than anything else, that I need to get out of that bed. And around that time, I came across a book, the Heal Your Life book by Louis Hay. And I started reading the affirmations for lower back. Trust me, I didn't know anything about affirmations or anything about this world. And at that time, I also realized that it's the negative emotions which have given rise to this excruciating back issue. The negative emotions for back were fear of financial stability, fear of the future, anger, which we all face many times in our life, but that really impacted my back. And I started religiously writing down the emotions and just releasing it on a piece of paper. And I started doing the affirmations, not knowing where I'm going to head. But magically, my pain started easing. My doctor came visiting and he said that he was very happy with my progress. What is it that you're doing? I said, I don't know, I'm just doing this, And even physiotherapist was really happy with my progress because I started walking a little bit. And that's the time I realized that there is something in what I'm doing. I don't know, but there is something. And he said, the doctor, that I need not undergo a surgery right now, I can wait. 20 years, and I look back, and the doctor told me those years, I will never be able to stand for long, sit for long, go on a long flight. I will never be able to bend, jog, or lift weights. And today I'm happy to share that I do everything and there is no pain in my back. I totally, completely avoided that surgery, which I was super scared of. That is how my journey started in the work that I do, which is to do with healing of our emotions, to create a mind to manifest everything, be it yourself or your family or your parents. 2014, the universe decided to send a test again. And this time, I was diagnosed with a gallbladder stone. And I said, oh, okay, some emotions are playing up. And I started understanding why have I developed this stone in my gallbladder. And the emotion behind it was bitterness. And I connected to the bitterness I was going through during that time in my life. Again, I did the self-healing techniques, which I'm teaching now as well. I applied it on myself. My doctor comes knocking at my door and says, this time you better get a surgery. And I said, hold, just wait, give me some time. And it took me 5 years, okay? And every year the scan showed the stone, but 5 years hence, in 2020, there was no stone in my gallbladder. And the doctor, my mom being a doctor sitting here, right here, and the doctor is saying, gosh, what is this? This is insane. What are you doing? And this is a miracle. And even now when I meet him, he's like, this is that miracle woman. So yes, I realized that there is a lot of power in healing your emotions. Every physical issue, every emotional issue starts with negativity in ourselves. And that connected me to the work that I do. I'm a life coach. I do a lot of one-on-one sessions. I'm also doing workshops now. And probably this is what connected me to my passion for doing this work. And I really have a vision to see the world a happy, healthy place where everybody is just smiling, smiling, smiling and leading their greatest life. And in the closing, I would like to share a few lines which are very close to my heart actually. And they touched me in the core when I read it. These lines are from a lady called Oprah Winfrey. The lines are, I do not know what the future holds, but I do know who holds the future. And when people ask me, what is the reason for your smile and your success? I say, because I lean on His grace. And it is this grace that has given me this opportunity to share my story, and a big, big gratitude to Cornash and Pragati for inviting me to share this story, which is very close to my heart. And I am, God willing, continue on this journey with integrity, passion, and honesty. Thank you.
So, we saw what miracles the energy lady can do, right? The next speaker is a complete transformation package. A very shy person. There are many people in the audience who are waiting to hear her speak. Trained as a Montessori teacher for 20 years, connecting with others comes naturally to her. However, what has been a game changer for her is connecting with herself. So let's put our hands together for Vasundhara Pasari, EaR coach and psychological counselor.
The comedian Jerry Seinfeld said that speaking in front of a crowd is considered the #1 fear of the average person. Number 2 was death. Death is number 2. This means to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. Not long ago, I too was scared to speak and even share my opinions in front of a small gathering of close friends. My confidence was so low that I thought my opinions did not matter. So when Pragati asked me a month ago if I would like to speak at the summit today, my first reaction was, certainly not. Yet, here I am today, completely out of my comfort zone. I grew up in a loving, protective home in the hills of Uttarakhand and got married into an equally loving and protective home in Kolkata. All my needs were provided for. There was nothing lacking in my life. A lovely family with 3 wonderful children and great friends. Yet, when I looked back, I felt I had just been fulfilling one role after the other, of being a good daughter, wife, daughter-in-law, and mother. While trying to juggle all these roles, I had been unable to understand who I really was. Or maybe that was just a convenient excuse I had given to myself to continue living in my small bubble and do nothing outside of my comfort zone. It was easy to justify to myself. I was busy doing what was expected out of me. Soon, I started feeling kind of useless. There was a nagging feeling at the back of my mind that something was missing. But what? Other than looking after my home and my kids, I always shied away from taking any responsibility. Perhaps because of that my confidence was low and I lacked a purpose. At that phase of my life, what came to my rescue was my workouts and my coach. Even though I had been working out since a few years by then, but now my mindset to exercise changed. I started showing up to work out every day, no matter what. Not showing up was not an option I gave to myself anymore. That discipline and commitment in just one area of my life started giving me purpose. Each session in the gym started feeling like therapy. And when the mind changes, the body knows. My previous trainer had told me that I could never do squats. But now, not only was I doing squats, but I was doing them with 50 kgs on my back. I ran my first 10-kilometer marathon last year. I started feeling healthy and happy. After a long time, there was a sense of achievement, as I found myself being able to do things I never thought I could before. I used to have a crazy fear of doing jumps, but I needed to jump onto a box about the height of my knees. For 6 to 8 months, I would stand in front of the box, look at it, and feel paralyzed. The regular occurrence was me standing in front of the box, telling myself, you can do it, sometimes out loudly, at other times under the breath. My hands were moving, the mind was racing, but the feet would just refuse to leave the floor. Until finally, one day, I made it to the top of the box. What a feeling of joy it was. Through all my failed attempts, my coach would constantly be telling me, if only you would jump, will you land on top? Those words somehow became the wind beneath my wings. I had lived my entire life with that same attitude, just standing helplessly and not attempting anything at all, because of a fear of failing, or feeling not good enough, or feeling that somebody else was better. It always felt safe to play it safe. But somehow, accomplishing the jump unlocked something in my brain. I felt a sense of victory and hope and a realization that I'm not willing to live with so many fears and excuses anymore. As Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. What I was looking for most was a purpose, an identity, and something to look forward to when I woke up in the morning. That's when Cornash came into my life. I started connecting with my own emotions and understanding myself better. I came face to face with many emotions that had unknowingly got locked up in some corner. I learned that it was only after accepting and facing my emotions, my fears, that they will cease to have a power over me. I found a support system in wonderful people like Devalina and Pragati and my class. And above everything else, I found self-love and confidence. I found the courage to take a leap and start doing things, and understood that purpose could be found in very simple things in life. Playing Cabo, a card game that my daughter taught me, or cricket with my family, and all the fighting and screaming that follow are still some of the most cherished moments of my day. But now, while focusing on the us, I am learning to not ignore the me. I began volunteering in a school for the underprivileged. Seeing the eager, smiling faces of the children there, even in the midst of so many challenges, reminds me of how beautiful life really is. I also started a new journey as a psychological counselor and an EaR coach. In times to come, I hope that I can help people get in touch with their emotional ability resources and become better, no, happier, more self-accepting and loving versions of themselves. I had 100 excuses for not being here today, but I decided that I don't want to live behind my box of excuses anymore. I am willing to jump and land on top. I am learning to live beyond my fears and self-doubts. In the process of learning to do the jump, I somewhere learned to listen to a tiny voice inside that was always cheering me on, but which I could never hear before. Today, I wish that each one of us, while cheering for our loved ones, can also learn to celebrate ourselves.
Absolutely wonderful. So the lady with the courage and the biggest jump in the room. Don't you agree? And now, we have a Wharton graduate who dons many hats, from the business of finance to the business of healing. Let's hear about her inspiring transformation. So let's put our hands together for the Queen Bee of Resilience and the founder of Pranic Transformers, Sheetal Jhunjhunwala.
Hello everyone. So even I wonder sometimes, how come a Wharton graduate became a healer? So this part of my life begins in 2011 when my mother called me and said, Papa hasn't opened the door since morning. He had sent me a message in the morning saying, I have a headache, don't send the kids. My father was my kid's primary caregiver, because I was always working or traveling. I thought about it, I said, let him sleep. Maybe he's resting. By evening, I was at the meditation center and my mother called again. She said, he still hasn't opened the door. I said, okay, I'm coming. So I took someone with me and we went. And when I got there, the door had been opened by somebody going into the balcony. And I found my father hanging on a fan. And as I watched people take him down, it looked like he was sleeping on a rope. He was a very, very intelligent man. He knew exactly how to tie the knot. It's a place in the throat where you die very fast. And when I saw that, and I had been through many rounds of depression myself, I decided that I was not going to do this to my kids because I was 4 months short of my 40th birthday. And since then, I really worked on myself. I started healing people, especially I specialize in bipolar disorders because they are some of the most not cared for parts of society. One of the things that I wanted to also share is that, this doesn't happen in a day. My mother actually never told us that he had tried several times before. Had we known, maybe there would have been something else that we would have done. My father was a very intelligent person, yes, but he was also very valuable. He trusted people very easily, and he couldn't take the betrayals in life. Do you know someone like that? Where you feel this person is being taken advantage of? Yes, and we can't do anything about it. That's what we feel. And going further back, there are kids who I heal now who will say things like, actually their parents will say things like, my child doesn't concentrate, doesn't remember anything, doesn't study. And if I talk to the child will say, Auntie, do you know, I spent 9 hours trying to learn this and I still don't get it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, there are many, many telltale signs for these kind of issues. So be attentive. The child who is not studying it's not that they're not trying. They may have a genuine issue. And with pranic healing, which is what I practice, I started a center for pranic transformers. Because like I said, I didn't want to do this to my kids, and I didn't want any other parent to do it to their kids. So I specialize in bipolar disorders, in depression. I have a team of healers, so we can pretty much work on many things for you, or anyone that you know. Again, my message is very simple. It doesn't start with that. It starts somewhere earlier on. So pay attention to your family members and listen to what they're saying. And one beauty that I would like to add with pranic healing is that it's something that can be done distantly. It's something that can be done with the client not present. So with pranic healing, what we try to do is we try to get the person to a point where they understand that they may have a problem and they find a solution and they start looking for a solution. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much.
Courage comes in many forms. The whole point of this summit is for you to realize that help is always available. So if you are struggling, you know of a family member who's struggling, or somebody in your neighborhood, please understand that you need to reach out and get them the help that they need. We just heard Sheetal's story. That was really moving, and I know that everyone in the audience has been moved. So let's not be silent about the stigma of mental health care and actually start looking after our mental health more than we obsess about our physical bodies. After all, no talk on health can be complete without mental health. Do you agree? Yes. Now, we have the last speaker of the day, a soft skill trainer, EaR coach and trained counselor. This dynamic young lady carries a soft, shy, suave persona, but a purposeful stride. So let's put our hands together for this effervescent young lady, Anmol Karnani Sehgal.
Good evening, everyone. I am Anmol Sehgal Karnani, the underconfident soft skills trainer. My mind made a million excuses for not coming on stage today. I told myself I wasn't ready. I wasn't qualified enough. Even now, as I introduce myself as a soft skills trainer, there's a little voice inside my head saying, "Really? You? A soft skills trainer?" Because the truth is, I have struggled with confidence my entire life. Even now, underconfidence sneaks up on me. It waits for a bad day, a small failure, a missed opportunity, and then it pounces. See, it says, "I knew you couldn't do this." And just like that, I questioned everything I've worked for. Now, logically, I know what to do. I know how to communicate effectively, manage my time, set goals, build relationships, because that's what I teach. But here's the thing. Knowing the right thing to do doesn't always mean we do it. If our emotional wellness is off balance, if our self-doubt is too loud, if our mind is working against us, not even the best soft skills won't help us. Growing up, I was the shy kid. The one who never raised her hand in class even when she knew the answer. The one who never spoke out of turn. Never felt comfortable ordering at a restaurant. Never quite fit in at social gatherings. But at home I was a queen. Loud, opinionated, and free. That is why I became a soft skills trainer. Not because I had mastered confidence, but because I wanted to. I wanted to help others, young kids, college students, men, women, find their voices too. I thought that was my calling. Soft skills shape how we navigate life. Communication, leadership, adaptability, teamwork, and one of the most crucial ones, time management. We all wake up every morning, but at different times. Some wake up at 5 a.m. ready to conquer the world. Some at 9 and others closer to noon. Someone with strong time management skills wakes up at a given time, at a planned time, follows a routine, and ensures that they accomplish everything that they set out to do. But what about someone who's gone to bed feeling defeated? Replaying a mistake, feeling overwhelmed about an upcoming event. That person might struggle to get out of bed, let alone plan their day effectively. That's exactly what happened to me when the company I was working in shut down and I struggled to find a stable job. Months passed without work and I lost confidence in my training abilities. So when freelance work came my way, I turned them down. How could I train others to be more confident when I couldn't even believe in myself? I avoided social gatherings. I felt less than until I decided something has to change. I decided to upskill, upgrade my knowledge, and I chose to pursue a course in counseling, something that had always intrigued me. That's when I came across Cornash and emotional ability resources. And I had a realization. The key component I was missing wasn't a skill or a job. It was emotional wellness. It was self-love. Even now, underconfidence tries to creep in. But I have proof that I'm not that shy kid anymore. I have testimonials. I have cheerleaders. People I've helped gain confidence. I have created a positive impact in the lives of others. So why does my brain choose to play the wrong highlights? That's when I came up with something I called EaR Flicks. Moi is French for me or mine, and Flicks comes from Netflix. You see, our minds have their own streaming platform. And for most of us, it's programmed to replay the worst moments of our lives. Our fears, our embarrassments, our failures, over and over again, as if to protect us. But what if we could reprogram that? What if instead of living the worst moments of our lives, we could relive our wins, our dreams, our capabilities? What if we chose the highlights that prove our strengths instead of our weaknesses? Here's what I want you to do. Think of 3 words you use to describe yourself that hold you back. For me, it used to be, I am underconfident. I have low self-esteem. I am shy. Now, let's reframe the narrative. I am confident. I have healthy self-esteem. I am capable. It might feel weird at first, like you're lying to yourself, but trust me, words matter. The labels we give ourselves matter. I am still on my journey towards emotional wellness, and I'm realizing the better I treat myself, the more I grow. The happier I am, the better I am at my job. So my message to you today is, don't ignore your emotions when you set your goals. Don't ignore them when you're facing challenges. Instead, learn to use them to empower yourself. And the next time the voice in your head tells you that you're not good enough, don't just listen. Talk back. Reframe the narrative. Choose your highlights wisely. Because you are capable, you are strong, and you're already becoming the person you want to be. So subscribe to your Mua Flicks today.
That was absolutely wonderful. And with this, we come to the close of the National Mental Health Summit. But before we end, we have to thank our wonderful speakers, and let's cheer from them and let's give them a loud clap. We are going to be inviting all the speakers one by one, and we will be felicitating them.
Yes, now we come to an end of this wonderful evening. Thanks to each one of you for being such lovely audience. In fact, when we were planning this program, we were thinking that there'll be a lot of noise from the audience. Maybe nobody's going to be interested. Maybe people will walk in and out. There'll be hardly people watching us. And the speakers will just go on. But that didn't happen. You didn't let it happen. So thank you so much. I want to thank each one of the speakers for being such brave hearts. You all are true change makers. You not just poured your stories out, you poured your heart out. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to also thank the team of Nognat Foundation, the team Cornash, team EaR, and all those who worked relentlessly for just 2 weeks. It just took us 2 weeks to put this up. I'm sure we were all flawed. There have been a lot of things which haven't gone picture perfect, but picture abhi baki hai. So wait for the next edition. Thank you. And with that, we have a small memento to give out to each speaker. Please bear along with us for a few more minutes. Thank you.
May I request all the speakers to come on stage, please? We will start with Aditi Kohli. Aditi, come in front. Yeah, come. Wait. Speakers just come from behind the podium. So.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Now, Davina Fogla. Please guys, I know you've been really patient. Let's clap for all of them. Babita Junjunwala. Manju Patricia. See, our Vedic. You stand. Our Vedic scriptures always say, rise like the lotus. So all our speakers have risen above their challenges and absolutely amazing. Sanjana Bhajanka. Okay. Santosh Rungta, we have Santosh's son who wants to present the certificate to her, and I think that's really sweet. Shikal Junjunwala. Madhu Sharda. Swati Khemka. Vasundhara Pasari. Sudha Jain. Ashna Lahoti. Renu Toti. Anju Kasera. So Anju, we have not yet spoken about Anju. Anju is the silent one, ensuring that the program goes on flawlessly, minding all the speakers. So let's put our hands together for Anju Kasera.
Okay, now a token of appreciation for Pragati for initiating this evening.
Now we have Devi Priya Ghosh. Sorry. So one mistake so I'm allowed, right? The entire program has gone. If I don't goof up, how is it going to happen? So for Devi Priya Gua. Oh, so One lotus from Madhuji to Devleena ji. Go, let's. Picture.
Okay, we come to an end of this evening. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, Pragati. It was an amazing show. Lovely.
अरे अनमोल को क्यों नहीं दिया आपने? Why did you not give to Anmol? No, we have one more. We have one more. We definitely have one इनका Anmol is my nephew's wife.
No, it's okay. I said these are all my certificates, all my mementos.
So for the 3 pillars, we can't find their certificates. We have one more set. को नहीं मिला है।
Team Lognat, can you come to stage, please? The entire team of Lognat Foundation, we would like to have you on stage.
Amrita.
Could you just call her? Could you just call David?
Photographer Dada.
Mama, Mom.
Ma.
Anmol, very good.
Thank you.
Bharat.
हाँ हाँ.
Very nice.
Very good. Thank you.
Harshita, Ashna, one more. हाँ ले लिया
नहीं अभी बोल ले लो
फोटो हो जाएगा
Because that So much. Thank you. Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly.
मैंने नहीं, मैं देखो हाँ वो तो बात है एंड